Doing? It is Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all having an amazing Sunday, whatever time of day it is. Or hey, if you're watching this in the future, happy whatever day it is. Anyway, I bring you this. Oh, look at this. Look at this happy talking bell. So it is Sunday. It is the 17th of November of 2024. And that is for all you watching this in the future who might be wondering about what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about today is a Russian hopscotch. Apparently they have different things they write in Russian on hopscotch. In case you didn't know, they write different things. I don't know if you guys can read that. I sure can't, but I know people who do. Is it Russian or Ukrainian? I'm not even sure. Because around here they speak both. That's for sure. I don't know what it says, but it says a bunch of cool stuff, I'm sure. I don't know. Hopefully. Anyway, so what's happening in the world of the crypto markets? Well, we've seen Bitcoin obviously do, okay and stay up in the 90K zone, going up and down a little, moving along with the VEPs, giving nice little moves yesterday on Saturday. It, looked pretty flat, right? But then, if you zoom in, it's not exactly flat. And we saw the continuation yesterday of Litecoin having a very nice rise. Litecoin having a very nice rise and basically reaching over 50% gains on returns since November 6th or November 5th. Well, 5th, 6th, whatever. On the 5th, it was pretty low and pretty flat. And it was in the 60s. And it rose to over $95 on Saturday. And that made it, in fact, I think the high was like 98 at some point. So, but that was the top side of the wick. Anyway, it did fairly well. And it went up again to 97 or something so far today that I've seen, but came down a little bit. It's down around 90 and change so far on the day. But again, very nice move. Like more than 50% gain in like a matter of 10 days. I've been saying, hey, keep your eye out on Litecoin. I think he's going to be coming back with a vengeance. You could get more than 1,000 Litecoin for one Bitcoin a week ago. Now you can get just slightly less than 1,000. And I believe you're going to be able to get a lot less than 1,000 Litecoin for a Bitcoin in the coming months. Why do I believe that? In the coming months, certainly years. Because as people realize that there's really not much of a supply left for Bitcoin, right? There's like less than 1 million Bitcoin left on the markets in terms of available to trade and buy and all that. And people realize, Litecoin, there's only 4x as many as there are Bitcoin, and it has all this exact same code. 4x the transaction speed, 4x the mining block fee, speed. Again, max cap 84 million, which means there's barely even enough to have one for every millionaire and billionaire on Earth. And by the time it would be more distributed, it's already, by the time it would be more mined and distributed, by the time it gets to be fully mined, there'll probably be more than 84 millionaires and billionaires on Earth. Therefore, it'll have a very similar issue, but to scarcity as Bitcoin has, right? In that sense, right? And even if not, it is extremely scarce, right? Even if the average millionaire or billionaire can only buy like 1.1 of them, right, or 1.01 or whatever, That's not a lot, right? And Bitcoin, the average millionaire or billionaire can't even own one, right? Like literally, numerically, you just take the fact that there's more than 60 million millionaires and billionaires. Obviously, mostly millionaires, because there's only some small number of thousands of billionaires on Earth. But millionaires and billionaires, there's about 60 million or something on Earth. So if you were just to distribute them evenly, all the Bitcoin just among millionaires and billionaires, they would each own like 0.3 Bitcoin. But obviously, the people who are into Bitcoin and are already rich, they don't just have one, right? They usually have a lot more than one. You could say, well, Warren Buffett has one. Yeah, because Justin's son gave him a Bitcoin or something. Sure. First of all, pretty sure Warren Buffett has more than one, even if he denies it. I'm sure somebody in his company has bought more than a few Bitcoins. And also, he's made like $1 billion investment into a crypto company, right? So, yeah, he's perfectly fine with crypto. Also, he has a whole bunch of Tron that Justin's son gave him when he gave him that Bitcoin on that hardware wallet. He gave him a wallet with a Bitcoin and with like a whole bunch of Tron. So it's not like, and I know Tron, shitcoin, whatever. Yeah, it's a shitcoin, but it's still up there in like the top, whatever, 10, 20 coins or whatever. So it's not like you couldn't sell it if you wanted to. Not that it would be worth a lot, but necessarily for him. Right? I'm sure it'd be more than probably what most people make in a year, but for him that's like chicken change or whatever you call it, chump change. I don't want to say the other thing anyway. But yeah, Litecoin FTW, Litecoin for the win. Why? Because again, when people realize how scarce Bitcoin is, and that the best alternative to it is literally the test net that runs all the code for it first and make sure that it works fine before they implement it on Bitcoin. And that's what it was built for, Litecoin. When they realize that, they realize there's not so much more of it than there is of Bitcoin, and that the price is ridiculously lower. The price isn't a quarter of a Bitcoin. In an ideal world, in theory, one Litecoin should be worth a quarter of a Bitcoin, right? In theory, because there's 4 times as many Litecoins as there are Bitcoins. So why isn't it that way? It's not that way for a variety of reasons. Are the miners identical? No, the miners aren't identical, but they're extremely similar. The mining network for Litecoin is extremely similar to the mining network for Bitcoin. Why? Well, because a lot of people who are mining Bitcoin are also mining Litecoin, because it's the same exact tech required to mine it. And because it's a lot cheaper to mine it, it's you may as well throw it onto your mining rig, right? Add it into the things you're mining in your software. What makes it cheaper to mine? Well, trade difficulty, right? The same thing that makes Bitcoin easier or harder to mine. So yeah, you still have the big miners mining it. You still have a lot of the small miners mining it. Is there some difference in the mining footprint? Yes, there is some difference in the mining footprint. And that's why you have that difference in the mining footprint. It has nothing to do with the price. The price is, in theory, right? People will say, well, the mining will affect the price, but it doesn't really. What affects the price? We know what affects the price, the return on investment and the volatility. This thing, I seem to be, I don't know what's going on here. It's jumping. The video is jumping. I seem to be in a static jump. Let's see if I can switch the camera around and make it stop jumping. No? Well, that's trippy. See if I can I do crazy colors at least? Can I do crazy colors? Red? Something? No. I don't know what's going on here. I must have walked by a crazy node. I'm going to try to stop this and restart it.